Hey guys, this is Pablo with Meditation Amsterdam. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the crucial distinction between liking something and accepting something. This is a very, very important topic. So, do stay tuned for the explanation because I think it's going to make a crucial difference in your self-cultivation practice. Before I carry forward, and if you're a fan of the channel, make sure to press the subscribe button and make sure to like these videos if you think they're valuable to you and to others. And without further ado, I'm going to dive right into the topic. Now, why is it that I make these videos? Why is it that I have this channel? Why is it that I have a little coaching practice? It's because I believe that a valid, clear, and unambiguous explanation for self-cultivation should be available to everybody. And I try to explain things in the way that I wish they had been explained to me when I was groping for what is this all about. And I think it's high time that we raise the bar higher for people who consider themselves to be spiritual or self-cultivation teachers. I'm still looking around a lot on the internet. I still see a lot of people using the word mystery. I see the people using the word paradox. I see I hear the words words cannot describe. And even though some things are indeed not describable by words, the words that we use to point in that direction do need to be 100% understandable. And this is one of those such topics. So, and last little word about this whole thing. When somebody is using the word paradox, it just means that they're using the wrong paradigm to explain things. The paradigm is too narrow, so it creates an apparent paradox. There is no such thing as a paradox when your paradigm is broad enough. Period. Okay? Unless you're talking about the ultimate mystery of existence, in which case, yes. Everything else should be describable with clear language. Now, as to surrender versus like. Here's the thing. I'm going to make it very plain and simple. Surrender or acceptance, let's call it acceptance. Acceptance is done with the body. Yes. Liking is done with the mind, as in the thinking mind. And this resolves the entire topic. And it's very, very, very simple. See, when we are trying to use the mind, we fall into the trap of trying to like things. So you listen to the teachings of someone or some sort of description and tell you, well, spiritual practice is a lot about surrendering and accepting things the way they are. And what your mind hears is, I need to like this. I need to be okay with it. And it'll start to manufacture ways to do that. So one of the typical thinking mind ways to accept things is to say, well, I'm going to create a kind of sunny side of the street story in which everything happens for a reason. I'll tell myself this is happening for a reason. And the reason is it'll help me grow, right? Or you will try to find a silver lining in which you say, well, this element about it is bad, but, in the bigger picture, there's something good to be said about this person or situation. Or it will say something along the lines of, well, I need to just accept the fact that life is tough, it's full of suffering, and, life has its ups and downs, and, well, this is a down. And therefore, I may not even like it, but I hereby, accept to dislike it. Now, notice that all of these things have one thing in common. They can all be put into words. Yeah, they are all narrative based. They are thought based. they are including the element of me. There's a me in the story. In other words, there's already a kind of duality being set up at its foundation. They all have the element of time. Maybe it'll improve later, right? Or, there's this thing that's good, there's this thing that's bad. It's all descriptive, language based. Those are all hallmarks of activity of thought, thinking mind. Okay? The moment you go in that direction, even though that narrative may be less toxic than a flat out dislike or a flat out mental rejection of what's happening, it is not what we're aiming for. It is not an effect. It's just not effective with what we're trying to do. Acceptance, on the other hand, is a very, very simple and very different thing than everything I just described. And the moment I utter it, you'll notice the difference. What we are calling acceptance is allowing, I'm going to make myself some real estate here by deleting the mind. We just got rid of the mind, yes. And acceptance is to feel as fully, as completely, as deeply with the body, so it is all somatic. We are looking for raw sensations in the body, that you may be able to put them into words, saying, oh, it's a tingling or a burning or a contraction. That's fine. But you're looking for that which can be felt before it can be put into words, or rather apart from the fact that it can be put into words. Now, notice the difference between the mental activities, narrative based, trying to find a story or an angle, trying to describe, trying to mentally talk yourself into this, that, or the other. It is radically different from what we're saying here. Acceptance and surrender are bodily activities, and there's a crucial distinction there. Bodily and only bodily. Later on, when you have accepted something with the body, the mind will come in and say, and it will say, I just accepted this, and look what a beautiful narrative of acceptance I can create behind it. And I really believe it too. But what the mind doesn't know is that it really believes it because the body believes it. So this is the distinction that we're trying to draw. It's taken me a long time to understand that. And therefore, you don't need to like things in order to accept them. In fact, you can be fully accepting of a dislike towards a person or dislike towards a situation. But you can be in full bodily acceptance, in other words, feeling fully, completely, deeply, the fact that you dislike something. You don't need to like everything, right? You don't even need to, I would say, come to terms with everything in the sense of, well, it is kind of like that. It's a mental thing. You do need to be willing to fully feel everything in the body in as complete and round a way as possible, but also as deeply as possible, letting it touch your core, the center of you, as such, right? So crucial distinction. And it gets around these kind of little mental games that sometimes spiritual teachers like to play of like, so somebody says like, so do I need to like it? He's like, no, you don't need to like it. Okay, so do I need to dislike it? No, you neither like nor dislike. Ooh, it's a paradox. No, it's not a paradox. You simply don't use the thinking mind to do it. You use the body to do it, and that's what does the trick. So I'm going to leave it at that. Once again, if you haven't subscribed or liked, do so. It helps a lot. It's very motivating, and I'll be back with more content. Cheerio.